Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and alola to the world. My name is Jaden, and I'll be the host of the first ever Pokémon Anime Tournament, where I take 8 characters from different anime, throw them in a tournament format, and see which one will win. It's not for any prizes, it's just for fun. Before the video gets started, I just want to say thanks to my friends for helping me out with this project. I couldn't do this without them, so hey, thank you guys, I appreciate it. Second of all, there will be spoilers for these anime and manga, so you've been warned and watch at your own risk. Third of all, these teams were made over a year ago, so I'm going to be making changes to them, but we won't be using the changes in the tournaments. With all that being said, let's get started with our first character. Eren Yeager. With his team of Staraptor, G-Max Grimmsnarl, Minxiao, Shaman Sky, Aegislash, and Savalai. First, starting off with Staraptor, I wanted a Pokemon to represent his main goal of freedom. And in the show, and in real life, birds are seen as a symbol of freedom. So I was looking for a normal flying type, a basic bird that can throw hands, similar to how Eren does in the show. And Staraptor can learn close combat while evolving, and gets the Intimidate ability. So I feel like it's a pretty good fit for Eren. G-Max Grimmsnarl, on the other hand, is represent Eren's Titan shifting ability. Minxiao is a fighting type that can regenerate its body. Shaman Sky is actually a pretty vague one, but it's supposed to represent Mikasa. Can you guess why? Because they both have red scarves. You ran out of time. If you got that wrong, you gotta like and subscribe. Aegislash is more of a weirder one, but I'll try to sum it up as best I can. While doing research for this video, a bunch of people have been giving AOT characters a Doublade to reference the ODM gear. So I thought it would be interesting if Eren kind of rebelled against the ODM gear and evolved his Doublade into an Aegislash. It's just a pretty cool idea that I thought of. And last but not least, Savalai, who's definitely represents that Eren can't use the Founder's power without royal blood, because he needs either Zeke or Historia. But yeah, Eren is a bootleg founding Titan, while Savalai is basically a bootleg Arceus. So like, they both have that in common. The first change that I would be giving Eren would be replacing Minxiao for Volcanion to represent Armin. I didn't think I would have representation for Armin on this team because of their last fight and conversation. But after the end of Season 4, yeah, I'm giving him something to represent Armin. So I'm giving Volcanion, since Armin was the Colossal Titan and can create explosions as the Colossal Titan. Similar to how Volcanion can freaking... What was it in his Pokedex entries? They said it can blow away mountains with explosions. Second change would be replacing Aegislash for Sceptile. I like the idea of Eren evolving his Aegislash and like rebelling against the ODM gear, but giving him access to Mega Evolution and Gigantamax would be pretty cool to see. Come on, just think about which one Eren would use. Like, would he go into the more ODM gear side with Sceptile jumping over buildings and slashing titans and like Mega Evolution, Mega Sceptile? Or would he go for the more brute force attack with G-Max Grimmsnarl? Look, I don't even know if I'm explaining it right, but it sounds so cool to me. Calyrex would be the last change for this team and replace the Savalai. Since Eren, ever since the ending of Season 3, he has seen himself kill 80% of the human population because of the Attack Titan's power. He was able to see it because he touched Historia's hand. And I feel like if he has something to like mentor him towards the future, I think it'd be Calyrex. Calyrex can see the past, future, and present. So maybe Calyrex can kind of help him maybe stop the rumbling. I don't know. Anyway, next character. We got the Sun Breather himself, Tandro Kamado, with his team of Gyarados, Volcarona, Mega Gallade, Slurpuff, Moltres, Galarian Moltres, and Keldeo. Gyarados and Volcarona are easily to represent the different breathing styles he used in the show. Gyarados for water breathing, and Volcarona for sun breathing. Mega Gallade is to represent his evolution as a swordsman. Slurpuff is to represent his strong sense of smell, since Slurpuff has a strong sense of smell. If you don't believe me, watch Pokemon XYZ. It like happens like a couple times. Galarian Moltres, I know, is very wild for a Tundra, but like, hear me out. It's supposed to represent Nezuko.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, hear me out. It's because they both have pink flames. Eh? Alright. And Keldeo, because they both have similar backstories. Tanjiro and Keldeo were seeked out by a small group or organization to essentially help people in Tanjiro's case because you know why. And Keldeo's was there to help wild Pokemon. So they both have that backstory to them. There's definitely going to be a couple changes. One would definitely be replacing Glory Moltres for Ogerpon. I feel like Ogerpon is definitely a better representation of Nezuko. One, it looks like it's using a breathing style while using its cudgel, and I feel like it has how do I say it? It's I guess more adorable, I guess, in a way. Maybe Tanjiro looks at it and is like, oh hey, you might be of Nezuko. Where'd you come from, Nezuko? Wait, you can use breathing techniques? And Rampardos would be replacing Mega Gallade, because we already have representation of Tanjiro being a swordsman because of Keldeo. Rampardos is here to represent the legendary Kamado Headbutt, because we've seen the power of that headbutt, even knocking out Inosuke in early season 1. So, yeah. Alright, next character. Next up, we got the Orange Hokage, the 7th Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki. Now, actually, fun fact, I was gonna actually put Boruto on this list, but I haven't actually finished Naruto yet, so I don't want to get spoiled. So that's why Naruto's here. So, like, I feel like people in the comments be like, oh yeah, good decision, we don't like Boruto. Hey, I don't know if you've seen True Blue Vortex, but, it's pretty good. Even though I don't know anything about I know some stuff. I know some things. Like, anyway, Naruto's team will be Greninja, Ninetales, Sirfetch'd, Espeon, Victini, and Mega Mewtwo X. Greninja and Ninetales are pretty self-explanatory. Greninja is a shinobi, or a ninja, like Naruto is, and it's a frog, which Naruto can summon. And the Ninetales is easily to represent, well, the Ninetales, Kurama. Sirfetch'd I know it's a little bit of an oddball pick, but it's to represent Naruto's ninja way of never going back on his word. If you didn't know, when Sirfetch'd's leek withers, it will retire from battle. I feel like if Naruto knew this, I feel like I would have respect for Galarian, Farfetch'd, and Sirfetch'd, and catch one. Espeon, I know Espeon is more of an oddball pick, but it's supposed to be a vague-esque representation of Sasuke. Because I know later on in the series they get their 6 path powers, and Sasuke gets the moon on his hand, and Naruto gets the sun, so I want something to represent that. Espeon is a Pokemon that evolves with happiness during the day. So, if Naruto has that, Sasuke will get like a Pokemon that evolves at night. Well, I don't know, like Lycanroc or something, I don't know. Victini is supposed to represent that Naruto was basically destined from the beginning. Victini is a Pokemon to where if a trainer has one, they basically win. They don't win, they can't lose no matter what. Like, have you not seen this guy? Even I just finished Naruto vs. Pain, and he took out all 6 Pains, and he talked to Pain basically restoring the village. No, not restoring the village, restoring the people that have passed in the war against Pain. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that happens later on too. He talks to Sasuke getting back to the village. He talks to freaking Kaguya, who's like the mother of the 6 paths, son of the 6 paths, something like that. I don't know, man. Did he also talk to Obito and Madara too? Man, I don't know. He's basically just destined for greatness, okay? And last but not least, Mega Mewtwo X is represent that Naruto is one of, if not the strongest in his verse. I went for X because Naruto throws a lot of hands. Especially in like, Baryon mode Naruto versus that one Otsutsuki. That guy was getting absolutely destroyed. Changes, definitely. First off, we'll be replacing Espeon for Lucario. Lucario just makes a little more sense, at least in terms of Naruto's fighting style. It also has the same thing where it needs high friendship during the day. So it's just a better Pokemon for Naruto. And yeah, on to the next character. Next up, we got the Fire Soldier himself, Shinra Kusakabe. I said that's so weird. Shinra Kusakabe, with his team of Mega Blaziken, Ceruledge, Chiyu, Cobalion, Darmanitan, and Entei. Mega Blaziken is definitely going to be his ace to represent his speed and his fighting style. Ceruledge is actually a representation of Sho, his younger brother, who was depicted to have been dead but he wasn't dead, and he fought him with his sword, and he has like fire time travel abilities. So a fire ghost type that has swords for hands. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good representation of Sho. So now I wanted a Pokemon to represent how people see Shinra. And easily, I could have given him like Houndoom or Incineroar, but I needed some firepower on this team, because if I gave him Houndoom, he would be destroyed by the first opponent. So I gave him Chiyu, Fire Dark type, has a lot of firepower that still has that representation of how people see Shinra as a monster. And oh hey, I should run away from this guy because he looks scary, because he has a sharp-toothed smile. Which leads to the next character, Darmanitan. That's pretty much it. Darmanitan smiles like him. Now I know this one's going to be a little controversial, but I'm giving this dude Cobalion to reference Arthur. I went with a character that he knew before he became a fire soldier. And guess what? Arthur was one of them, or I think one of the main ones. He also has a history with Shinra too, being his like rival and everything too. And Cobalion works with Arthur's title of being the Night King. The Knights being how Cobalion protects the wild Pokemon, and the King reflects Cobalion being the leader of the Sword of Justice. And finally, Entei is to give this sucker some firepower. I couldn't think of anything else. And Entei was there. It's like, hey, you know what? Screw it. We're giving this guy an Entei. And it changes. I like all the I like all the characters because that's Entei. So maybe I just give him Gouching Fire and just call it a day. So I'll let y'all say in the comments who is Shinra's last Pokemon, because I couldn't think of anything. Alright, on to the next character. It's time to go plus ultra with the future number 1 hero, Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, with his team of Mega Lucario, Palafin, Galarian Zapdos, Zygarde, Zarude, and Flareon. Mega Lucario is representative of how he gets for using One for All with anger, you know what I mean? Because we've seen Mega Lucario go freaking berserk, and even in its Pokedex entries that it is an absolute savage when it Mega Evolves. Similar to how when Deku sees someone that is hurt on the battlefield. Because if you don't believe me, look at Mega Lucario versus Pikachu, the first one, and then look at Deku when he sees Bakugo and everyone destroyed when he fights Shigaraki. Palafin is, well, a hero Pokemon. I shouldn't really need to explain more. Galarian Zapdos represent his fighting style. Zygarde represent his power percentage. Is that how you say it? Since Deku and Zygarde both use power percentages to measure their power. 10%, 50%, and 100% Zygarde are the only 3 forms it has, while Deku can go from a variety of percentages. This is just a Pokemon I could see Deku having just swing through the city with its vines, just keeping up with them, like on patrol or something. And Flareon is going to be a vague representation of Bakugo. Alright, hear me out. I wanted a Pokemon though that I could see Deku catching, but also could be a vague representation of Bakugo. So, I want Flareon. Like, Deku catches one as an Eevee, he tells Eevee about all the adventures that him and Bakugo had as UA students, and inspired by Bakugo, it evolves into Flareon. Definitely, there's going to be a couple changes. One, I'm replacing Mega Lucario for another fighting Mega, Mega Lopunny. I feel like Deku has more of a rabbit theme going on with him, even though it's not there, I feel like it's kind of vaguely there. And also, Mega Lopunny can definitely keep up with him, even if he's using One for All. Have you not seen that thing's speed stat? Have you not seen it? Also, it's just incredibly strong too. It's like one of the best Megas in the game. The last change will definitely be replacing Zarude with Zeraora. Another Z mythical Pokemon. Zarude definitely has the speed, again, to keep up with Deku. It also represents the whole lightning amenity coming from Deku when he's using his One for All. So I can see him using Zeraora or Zarude. So hey, let me know in the comments of which one you would give him. Alright, on to the next character. Next up, we got the vessel for Ryomen Sukuna, Yuji Itadori. Now for Yuji's team, I went more of like, what if Yuji's team had Sukuna's influence on it? So I split his team in half. The left side will be Itadori's team, and the right side will be Sukuna's team. So, starting off with Yuji, he will have Morpeko, Scrafty, and Single Strike Urshifu. Repeko is just to represent that Yuji and Sukuna can swap with each other at will. Scrafty is a Pokemon that I can just see him having because it has a built-in hoodie. And legit, Yuji has been seen to wear lots of hoodies throughout the series. Like, I think in even fan art too. I don't think he just wears a t-shirt either. He just wears hoodies. Huh. And Single Strike Earthfuse is to represent his fighting style of just, like, you know, one punch. He's super strong. But also, Single Strike Earthfuse could work well because he has shown to throw a bunch of punches. So either Single Strike, regardless, Urshifu. I'm going with Single Strike just because of the dark typing, and the cursed spirits and cursed energy and stuff like that. For Sukuna's team, I gave him Annihilate, Hisuian Zoroark, and Shadow Rider Calyrex. Back then, I didn't know what Sukuna's whole thing was. I didn't know it was severing and slicing. So I went with Pokemon that represents cursed spirits, because when the first finger was finally exposed, like a bunch of curses started to come back. So that's what I wanted to reference. A bunch of curses being attached to Sukuna. He was like, you know what? Fine. Like, you'll be on my team. Annihilate is definitely there to represent his anger. The Hisuian Zoroark is just a Pokemon I see him having. And also, it is very protective of its trainer, similar to how how do you say her name? Arahume? Arahume? Also, you find Hisuian Zoroark in a snowy area, similar to how Arahume has ice powers. So, hello, Shading from the future. So, that's wrong. Zoroark is not protective. It is protective and it will help its pack, but Hisuian Zoroark is not. So, I'll just probably give Hisuian Zoroark to Sukuna just because I can see Sukuna having one. So, that's it. Back to video. And for Shadow Rider Calyrex, it's definitely to represent the whole Keenly aspect of him losing his powers and then regaining it again. Similar to how Calyrex lost his powers and then gained the horses back in the DLC. So, good parallel. But now, definitely the changes I would make the most would be giving these two their separate teams. Next up, we got the future Wizard King, Asta, with the team of Mega Absol, Corviknight, Zacian, Exploud, Paldean Tauros, and Hisuian Samurai. I chose Mega Absol because of how they're both mistreated or misunderstood. Asta's a person that doesn't have any magic, so people say, oh, he's so weak. And then Asta just proceeds to absolutely just stomp them into the ground. While Mega Absol's a Pokemon to warn people of danger, says to bring the danger. Also, when they both power up, they get wings and horn. Corviknight easily represents his brother from another mother, Yuno, and to represent his goal, represent his status of being a magic knight. Zacian is easily represents his goal of becoming Wizard King. Also, I went with the sword one because he has a sword. Exploud is just to reference that this dude's so loud throughout the whole series. People don't like Asta because he's so loud. I can see this guy. I can see him have like a screaming match with his Exploud. Paldean Tauros is here because he's a part of the Black Bulls. I'm giving Asta the one that doesn't have a dual typing because Asta doesn't have any magic. Believe me, if there was like a dark fighting type, you would be getting that one. And Hisuian Samurai is to one represents Asta having dark powers and is a swordsman, as well as referencing Noelle, a Black Bulls member that went on the most missions with him. And surprisingly, like I said, this is one of my best teams that I don't really think I would change this team just because it's so cool. Just because I feel like it really fits them. Alright, we got the last character and the strongest Esper. Did I say his name? Shigio? Got my... How do you say his name? Shigio Kageyama. Also known as Mob from Mob Psycho. Funny enough, I actually had to put a bunch of other characters on a wheel, and Mob was the one that won. And I've never even watched Mob Psycho, so I have to watch this. I have to watch the anime to actually make a team off of him. Or make a team for him. His team will be Mesprit, Hoopa, Slowbro, Female Indeedee, Deoxys, and Mega Mewtwo Y. Mesprit, out of the three late guardians, is the one that represents emotion, which is the thing that fuels Bob's powers. Hoopa represents Dimple, because Dimple has like a confined form and also like a super unleashed form that you can only use like for a certain amount of time. Slowbro is he's just here. I feel like if he found one, I feel like Slowbro just fits Mom. You know what I mean? They both have similar expressions with dot eyes. I don't know. I feel like they would kind of understand each other in a weird way. Female Indeedee is represents that he doesn't like to fight. I chose him specifically the female Indeedee is because it's the more supporting one out of the two Indeedees. Also more psychic. It's represent that he's just a guy that has psychic powers. Deoxys is to represent basically Mom's powers and what he can do. He's incredibly fast, defensive, and has very strong attack power. Mega Mewtwo Y is to represent a mob using 100% of his power and going all out with no limits. One change I'll probably give him is giving him a male Meowstic, since Esper, its pre-evolution, is what mob is. But I don't know who I would replace for Meowstic. Maybe Deoxys, because we already have something to represent his powers, and this is... I don't know. I would know in the comments of who you would replace Meowstic for Mob's team. Hey, hello! Thanks for watching towards the end. This video took me a good amount of time to make. I mean, by a good amount of time, I mean hours. Like, hours. Probably in the double digits. This took me like maybe 20 hours. I originally wanted this video to be me explaining the teams, but also having the tournament at the end. But both parts are like 20 minutes long, or more, over 20 minutes long, so I'm splitting those two apart. So the tournaments will most likely be my next video. And hey, if you like my kind of content, maybe hit that big rectangular button, alright? Maybe hit that bell for more. Oh wait, no, I messed it up. Regardless, y'all know what to do. Thank y'all for watching, and peace.